The call came on a Thursday afternoon, just as I was finishing a meeting with my executive team. 5 years had passed since I'd last heard his voice, but I recognized it instantly. Julia, please don't hang up. My name is Julia Martinez, and at 35, I was about to confront the man who had stolen everything from me, or at least who thought he had. Mark, I said calmly, signaling my team to give me the room. This is unexpected. I know, he said, his voice tight with desperation. But I need your help. The company, your ideas, it's all falling apart. I leaned back in my chair, enjoying the irony. 5 years ago, Mark had walked away with my business plans, my startup capital, and half my assets in our divorce. Now he was calling me for help. My ideas? I kept my tone neutral. I thought they were all your ideas, Mark. Isn't that what you told the investors? He had the grace to sound uncomfortable. Look, I know I handled things badly. Badly. I cut him off. You stole my business plan for an eco-friendly home goods company, convinced our investors I was unstable during the divorce, and launched everything under your own name. I'd say badly is an understatement. Julia, please, I'll admit everything. I'll make it right. Just help me save the company. You're the only one who really understands how it all works. Of course I understood how it worked. I'd spent 2 years developing the business model while Mark worked his corporate job, nodding along with my ideas, offering suggestions, all while quietly meeting with patent lawyers behind my back. Send me the financial reports, I said finally. All of them, then we'll talk. After he hung up, I sat in my quiet office, thinking about the path that had led to this moment. The late nights working on business plans while Mark encouraged me to follow my dreams. The carefully cultivated relationships with eco-conscious suppliers. The innovative designs for sustainable household products that would change how people thought about everyday items. Then came the day I found the emails between Mark and his lawyer discussing how to patent my ideas before I could. The day I discovered he'd been meeting with our potential investors, painting me as an unstable dreamer while positioning himself as the business-savvy realist who could make it all work. The divorce had been ugly. Mark had played it perfectly. The concerned husband worried about his wife's grip on reality. By the time it was over, he had everything. The business plans, the investor contacts, even our house. I left with nothing but my determination and a secret he never discovered. My phone buzzed. Rachel, my best friend and now chief operating officer. Well, she asked when I answered. Was that the call we've been waiting for? It was, I confirmed. He's desperate. Perfect. I could hear her smile. Should I set up the meeting? Not yet. Let's see what the financials tell us first. Rachel had been there through everything. The discovery of Mark's betrayal, the divorce, and most importantly, the planning that followed. She knew what this moment meant. The financial reports arrived an hour later. I spread them across my desk, but I already knew what they would show. After all, I've been watching Mark's company, Davidson Eco Homes, very carefully for the past 5 years. I'd seen him take my careful, sustainable business model and push it too far, too fast. He'd expanded recklessly, compromising on the eco-friendly materials I'd sourced to cut costs. The products looked good but weren't built to last. The opposite of everything I'd envisioned. Now it was all catching up with him. Customer complaints were mounting, retailers were returning defective merchandise. The carefully crafted image of sustainability was cracking, revealing the profit-driven reality underneath. My phone rang again. Sarah Chen, my lawyer. I saw Davidson Eco's latest quarterly report, she said without preamble. Their stock is tanking. Is it time? Almost, I replied. Mark just called asking for help. Perfect timing. The paperwork is ready whenever you are. I smiled, thinking about the documents sitting in my safe. The ones Mark never knew about because he'd been too busy stealing my obvious ideas to look for the deeper ones. Give me a week, I said. I want to see him squirm first. After hanging up, I walked to the window of my office, my real office, not the small space I'd kept as a decoy these past 5 years. 40 stories up, with a view of Seattle's skyline that Mark would have killed for. He had no idea what I'd been building while he played with his stolen company. No idea that the small consulting firm he thought I was running was just a front for something much bigger. Rachel appeared in my doorway. The team's ready for your update. I nodded, gathering my thoughts. My real team. the one that had been working in secret while Mark built his house of cards. They were waiting in the conference room: Rachel, my COO, Michael, my chief of product development, Lisa, my head of sustainable supply chain, and a dozen others. All people who believed in my original vision and had been willing to work in the shadows until the time was right. Mark called, I announced, taking my place at the head of the table. Davidson Eco is failing, just as we predicted. Their key 3 numbers are worse than we expected, Michael added, pulling up a spreadsheet. Quality control issues, supply chain problems, customer complaints, it's all falling apart faster than projected. I nodded. Which means we need to accelerate our timeline. Is everything ready? Lisa spoke up. Our factories are fully operational. The first production run of actual eco-friendly products is complete. Marketing materials are ready to go. We just need your word. And the trademark issue? I asked, looking at our legal counsel. All clear, James confirmed. We own the rights to everything they don't even know exists yet. This was what Mark had missed in his rush to steal my obvious ideas. Yes, he'd taken my initial business plan, my designs for basic eco-friendly household items. But he hadn't known about the real innovations. The ones I'd kept separate, developed in secret even while we were married. What about the investors? Rachel asked. Are they still on board? Even more so now that Davidson's stock is dropping, I confirmed. They've seen the problems with his approach and they're ready for something authentic. The meeting continued as we refined our plans. 5 years of preparation was about to pay off, but timing would be crucial. Later that evening, as I reviewed Mark's financial reports, my phone buzzed with a text from him. Have you looked at the numbers? When can we meet? I took my time responding, making him wait just like he'd made me wait 5 years ago when he was stealing my dreams. Finally, I typed, tomorrow, your office, 10 a.m. His reply came instantly. Thank you, Julia. You won't regret this. Oh, but he would regret it. He just didn't know it yet. That night, I pulled out my old journals, the ones where I first sketched my business ideas. Mark had stolen the surface plans, the obvious concepts, but he'd missed the real innovation hidden in those pages, the technology that would revolutionize how sustainable products were made. While he'd been building a company based on marketing and appearances, I'd been developing something real, something that would make his stolen ideas look like child's play. Rachel called as I was getting ready for bed. Are you sure you want to meet him at his office? She asked. We could do this on our turf. No, I said, thinking about the expensive office Mark had built with my stolen ideas. I want to see his face when it all falls apart in his own territory. Just be careful, she warned. He manipulated you once. That was a different me, I reminded her. He has no idea who he's dealing with now. After we hung up, I stood in front of my closet, selecting my armor for tomorrow's battle. Not the conservative business suits I'd worn when playing the role of small-time consultant. Tomorrow called for something else, something that showed exactly who I'd become. I chose a dress in deep red, the color of power and warning. Let him see what he'd underestimated. Let him remember this moment. My phone buzzed one last time, a message from Sarah. Final paperwork is ready. Are you sure you want to do it this way? I thought about Mark's voice on the phone, the desperation he couldn't quite hide. Thought about the years I'd spent rebuilding while he played with my stolen ideas like a child with a new toy. I'm sure, I replied. It's time he learned what it feels like to lose everything. Tomorrow would change everything. Mark thought he was asking for help saving his company. He had no idea he was walking right into the trap I'd spent 5 years preparing. Sometimes revenge isn't about destroying someone. Sometimes it's about letting them destroy themselves while you build something better from the ashes they left behind. Mark's office was exactly what I expected, all glass and chrome, designed to impress rather than inspire. The reception area featured a wall of awards and press coverage, most praising his innovative approach to sustainable living. I smiled, noting the signs of cost-cutting even here. The plants were plastic, not the living walls specified in my original designs. The furniture was fox leather rather than the sustainable materials I'd sourced. Ms. Martinez? His new assistant looked nervous. Mr. Davidson will see you now. I followed her through the open workspace, aware of the whispers and stares. Most of these employees probably knew me only as the unstable ex-wife Mark had described during the divorce. Mark stood as I entered his office, and I saw the years hadn't been entirely kind to him. His hair was grayer, his face more lined. Success, it seemed, had come with a price. "Julia," he said, coming around his desk. "Thank you for coming. You look great." "Let's keep this professional," I said, taking his seat before he could attempt a hug or handshake. "Show me what's going wrong." For the next hour, he laid out the company's problems. Quality control issues with their Chinese manufacturers, customer complaints about products falling apart, retailers threatening to pull their lines, the stock price in free fall. "We've tried everything," he said, running a hand through his hair. "New suppliers, better quality control, marketing campaigns to rebuild trust. Nothing's working." I nodded, looking through the reports scattered across his desk. "Because you can't market your way out of fundamental flaws." "What do you mean?" "Your entire business model is flawed," I said bluntly. "You took my designs for truly sustainable products and cut corners to maximize profits. Now it's catching up with you." He flushed. "That's not." "It's exactly what happened." I cut him off. "But here's what you really don't understand. Those original designs, they were just the beginning." His face changed slightly. "What are you talking about?" I pulled out my tablet and opened a file. "While you were busy building this," I gestured around his office, "I was developing this." I turned the screen toward him, showing him patents, designs, and manufacturing processes he'd never seen before. His eyes widened as he scrolled through the documents. This is revolutionary," he said finally. "Why didn't you tell me about these when we were married?" "Because I knew what you'd do with them," I replied simply. "Just like you did with everything else." He sat back, studying me. "So what are you proposing? A partnership? You help save Davidson Eco, and we implement these new designs." I laughed, the sound sharp in the quiet office. "No, Mark. I'm not here to save your company. I'm here to buy it." "What?" I pulled out another document, the one Sarah had prepared. "My company, Phoenix Sustainable Technologies, is prepared to make an offer for Davidson Eco's assets. Given your current stock price and mounting problems, I think the board will find it very attractive." "Your company?" He stared at me. "The consulting firm?" "That's just a front," I said, enjoying his confusion. "The real company has been operating in stealth mode for 5 years. We have factories ready, supply chains established, and products tested. We're ready to launch, we just need a distribution network. Like, say, the one you built with my stolen ideas." His face darkened. "You planned this? All of it?" "I learned from the best," I replied coolly. "You taught me how to play the long game, remember?" He stood abruptly, pacing behind his desk. "The board won't agree. They'll never sell to you." "Actually," I said, pulling out my phone, "they already have." I showed him the email that had arrived this morning, confirmation from the board that they had reviewed my offer and wanted to proceed with due diligence. "How?" he demanded. "When?" "I've been meeting with them quietly for months," I explained, showing them what Phoenix has developed, explaining how we could turn things around. "They're business people, Mark. They see the writing on the wall." His face had gone pale. "This is revenge." "No," I corrected him. "This is business. You taught me that too, remember. Nothing personal, just business." I stood smoothing my dress. "The paperwork will be delivered this afternoon. I suggest you review it with your lawyers. Though I should warn you, Sarah Chen is much better than whoever you're using now." "Sarah, my Sarah." "She left your firm 3 years ago," I said, enjoying his shock. "She's my general counsel now. Turns out she never believed your stories about your unstable ex-wife." I walked to the door, then turned back. "Oh, and Mark, clear out your office by Friday. Phoenix will be taking possession next week." I left him standing there, staring at the empire that was crumbling around him. The whispers followed me through the office, but this time they were different. This time they knew who I really was. Rachel was waiting in the car outside. "Well?" she asked as I slid into the seat. "Call the team," I said. "It's time to launch." The next week was a whirlwind of activity. The acquisition moved quickly. The board was eager to salvage what they could from the failing company. Mark tried to fight it, of course, but the numbers didn't lie. Phoenix's offer was the only thing that would save their investment. The day we took possession of Davidson Eco's offices, I walked in with my real team. The employees gathered nervously, uncertain about their futures. "I know you're worried," I told them. "But I want you to understand something. Phoenix isn't here to destroy what you've built. We're here to make it what it always should have been." I showed them the real designs, the innovative technology, the truly sustainable products we developed. Watched their eyes light up as they realized they could finally deliver on the promises they'd been making to customers. Most of them stayed. Some, the ones most loyal to Mark, left. We wished them well and moved forward. Mark tried one last time to fight back, attempting to claim my new designs were developed while we were married. But Sarah had prepared for that, documenting everything meticulously. He lost that battle too. 6 months later, I sat in my new office, the one that used to be his, looking at the latest sales figures. Phoenix's first line of products had launched to rave reviews. The stock price was climbing. The vision I'd had all those years ago was finally becoming reality. Rachel knocked on my door. "The Wall Street Journal reporter is here for your interview." I nodded, straightening my dress. Red again, my new power color. "Send her in." The reporter was young, eager. "Ms. Martinez, thank you for speaking with me. Your story is fascinating. Building a secret company while your ex-husband ran your stolen ideas into the ground, then buying him out. It's like something from a movie." I smiled. "The truth is often stranger than fiction." "What made you decide to do it this way?" she asked. "Why not fight him immediately after the divorce?" "Because sometimes the best revenge isn't about fighting," I said. "It's about building something better. Something real." After she left, I stood at my window, looking out at the city. My phone buzzed. A text from Mark. "You won. Are you happy now?" I thought about the journey that had brought me here, about the woman I'd been 5 years ago, devastated by betrayal, and the woman I was now, about the difference between revenge and vindication. "I was always going to win," I texted back. "You just didn't know what game we were really playing." Then I turned off my phone and went to meet with my team. We had real work to do, building something that would last long after the story of betrayal and redemption was forgotten. Because in the end, success isn't about beating someone else. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be, even if someone else's betrayal is what finally pushes you there. Sometimes the best revenge is simply becoming exactly who they said you couldn't be.